Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and what you're looking at is my 12-year-old's X-Wing fighter and his Stark Vegas t-shirt. For those of you that don't know, that's a Mississippi state saying. They call Starkville, Mississippi, Stark Vegas. It's all over the place there. It's near their baseball stadium, or on their baseball stadium. They've got like a painting or something, as I recall. But anyway, my son loves building Legos, and I'm always telling him that I want to have those Legos on display, but he won't let me. He likes to have them organized in his room. When I was a kid, we got Legos, and within a couple of weeks, anything we had built, we had taken apart and thrown it into a big box and just used our imagination building things. But I've learned that different Lego personality, there are some kids like my 12-year-old who like to build them and just keep them built and put them in a corner and organize them. And then there's people like me who like to just throw them in a pile and mix them up with their old Legos and use their imagination to build new things. You know, Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. I tend to agree. But it's a personality trait I've learned. Now, I wanted to tell you, give you an update on my baseball son too, or my older son that's playing JUCO baseball. I typed this out this morning. I've learned a lot. I've learned that in life sometimes bad things happen that feel like failures or losses, but everything happens for a reason, and those failures become arrows in your future's quiver if you don't quit. Here's a true story about my son and his baseball journey. There has never been a kid that's worked as hard as he has towards a goal from a young age. His goal was always to become a Division I NCAA baseball player. He attended multiple college baseball camps, even had a callback from a Division I school, but they passed. He kept at it, and he was very upset that day too. He kept at it and finally got a JUCO offer, which he accepted. Not exactly what he wanted, but this would give him 2 years to develop speed as a pitcher. This created a situation where he would only have 2 years of eligibility if he was able to achieve his goal and get into a Division I team after 2 years of playing JUCO. Just this past week, a court ruling confirmed that everything happened for a reason. The ruling basically said that his 2 years of JUCO don't count towards his eligibility if and when he gets to that Division I school. If he keeps working and develops, he now has the chance of playing a full 4 years at the Division I level. His chances of achieving his goals have dramatically increased. Reminds me of a quote from the movie Castaway when Chuck Nolan finally gets saved, which is this one. When he was talking about when he was on the island, he said, I know what I have to do now. I got to keep breathing because tomorrow the sun will rise and who knows what the tide could bring. In this case, the tide brought a court ruling giving my son 2 more years of eligibility at the NCAA level if and when he gets there. It also reminded me of this quote that my dad made me memorize. You know, my dad, the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing's more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world's full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. That's from Calvin Coolidge. I was actually talking to my oldest son about maybe he needs to go to Las Vegas with me and let him. A lot of you out there have heard about him since he was 11 or 12 years old on this channel. You've kind of come up with him. He's grown up with this channel, and maybe you need to meet him. Maybe I'll bring him out there. This is XRPLasVegas.com. These are just the companies so far that are attending. There's a lot more than this, though. Link to Sigma, Ballet, Making Crypto Easy, Caleb and Brown, Blockchain Ventures, Ripple, Uphold, Merlin, iTrustCapital, Corium, Schnick.com. Let's see if this thing keeps rolling. Sologenic. See if any link to's coming. anymore. I think he's working with some of those ETF companies to on coming as well, folks. You can go to XRPLasVegas.com and you can buy discounted tickets. We're about to cross the record from last year's attendance. I mean, like, we're within a handful of tickets now. And you can book your discount room to the MGM Grand. The link's in the description of this video. Wanted to show you this. This is iTrustCapital. They put this out a couple days ago, but they're one of my sponsors, and this is great about the potential spot XRP ETF coming. They did pros and cons. I wanted you to see this. The pros of a spot Bitcoin ETF. While the idea of the spot XRP ETF is generally excitement, its actual benefits for investors are somewhat limited. Accessibility. Investors can access the ETF through traditional brokerage accounts. Oversight. ETFs operate under the traditional financial markets. The cons. Here's the things that may get complicated. While ETFs might sound attractive, they come with drawbacks, especially for those interested in the full benefits of XRP. You don't own the XRP. You invest in a SMOT. It doesn't mean you own XRP. You're simply buying shares in the fund that holds XRP. So they're going out and buying them, and then you own shares in the fund. Fees add up. They have pretty big fees with them sometimes. Limited trading hours. So the XRP ETF will move. It'll be that, since it's regulated by the markets, it's not open 24/7 the way that crypto is. It's Monday through Friday. So if the market, let's say that the market went nuts and you decided that you wanted to pull the trigger on selling, you have to wait until Monday morning before you can make the trade, before a trade will go through in an ETF. Tracking areas. ETFs don't always perfectly mirror the price of the asset they track. Operational inefficiencies and management costs can lead to discrepancies between the ETF's value and XRP's actual market performance. How could a spot ETF impact real XRP? The approval of this ETF could create significant shifts in the XRP market, particularly those it affects on supply and demand. One, institutional demand drives buying pressure. It requires the fund managers to hold substantial reserves of XRP to back their funds. As institutional players enter the market, they would need to purchase large amounts of XRP, creating buying pressure. This increase in demand could reduce the circulating supply and potentially push XRP's price higher. Broader market attention. The introduction could draw attention to XRP, positioning it alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum as major digital asset recognized by traditional financial institutions. Spotlight could attract a new wave of interest in investment, potentially driving adoption and liquidity. The future of real XRP and spot XRP ETF. As excitement builds around the potential approval of spot XRP ETF, people may be gearing up for what could be a historic moment for XRP, whether it's institutional acquiring large reserves to back their funds or retail investors gaining exposure. The spotlight on XRP has never been brighter. So that's from iTrustCapital, which is my favorite place that I hold XRP. In my iTrustCapital account, it gives me a way to use institutional custody. It's the only way that a retail investor has that access right now, I think, through these IRAs, because they're already regulated. And it gives you the tax advantages, which is massive. All right, here's the market's been pulling back a little bit today. We've been Bitcoin's back to 95, XRP to 216. Let's see, yeah, 216. Look at this, 2025 will be the year that crypto's original killer use case, decentralized capital formation, experiences a renaissance with ICO 2.0. I don't think it's going to be the cartoon monkey ICOs. Real world asset tokenization is what it will become known as. Now, here's Raoul Paul on XRP.
Okay, next chart, XRP itself, fabulous pattern. Look at wedge after wedge after wedge after wedge. So we're just building another wedge now, ready for the next break higher. So that move is clearly not done. If you look at the weekly chart of XRP, it's a stunner. This massive 7-year wedge is broken. Who knows where this chart goes to? It's very powerful. But then go back to that chart of
All right. He was going to talk about SUI. We're not talking about SUI. New U.S. Congress is expected to prioritize crypto legislation in 2025, focusing on key issues like stablecoins and the FIT21 Act. And then Chad Steingraber, he says, on January 20th, the greatest crypto bull run in history begins.
With staking your Bitcoin.
All right. This is, Riz XRP put this out. It's a clip from the Modern Investor. Listen to this.
We were talking about with staking your Bitcoin, for those of you who missed it. There are protocols being created. You to put your Bitcoin onto Ethereum or some other chain and you get paid out like for doing absolutely nothing. I think, and I'm certain someone must be working on this. If XRP ever creates some kind of like a staking mechanism, if you are able to stake your XRP on chain and you get paid out in their stable coin, it is game over for about 75% of the rest of the market. There's a reason why Cardano and Ethereum continue to do very well. If there's any kind of XRP staking, it is over.
I agree with him. And I think it's coming. Now, I should have positioned this for going into DAIXRP.com, but I forgot to. Let me move it just so I can remind you as we go in. But let's cover a couple of more things. I wanted to show you this. Let me go to this one. Remember David Sachs is the new crypto czar in the Trump administration. I just wanted to point this out. Chris Larson has been investing in San Francisco politics alongside David Sachs for the last few years. Just wanted to point that out. Payments guys. I think all the payments guys in Silicon Valley hang out together. Japan rejects the strategic Bitcoin reserve proposal, citing volatility, lack of info, and legal concerns. And I said, now do XRP. And then looks like Joseph Lubin's going to be doing, no, actually it's not Joseph Lubin, it's CoinDesk Consensus. They're going to be doing that in China, in Hong Kong. I'm going to play a little bit of this because I think it's an important video. This is Kristen Smith. She's talking about Bitcoin going to 200,000, but she's talking about what's going to happen in this new year with crypto.
President-elect Trump has picked crypto supporter Paul Atkins to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission. This comes after 4 years of Gary Gensler's tough take on digital assets. Joining us now to discuss Trump's pro-crypto picks and how they will reshape the industry, Blockchain Association CEO Kristen Smith. Kristen, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm wondering, because I've had this question that I've asked myself, I've asked others since Trump was elected, and we've seen this sort of astronomical rise in Bitcoin. What specifically are the regulations in place that have handcuffed Bitcoin's growth, in your view, that will now be lifted under this new administration?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. When we talk about the SEC, we're really talking about things other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been perceived to be a commodity, and it's been something outside of it. But the fact that there isn't a basic regulatory framework for the exchanges and the trading of these assets, I think is something that has kept people out of Bitcoin. When you look at all of the institutions, the wirehouses and others, they see like, oh, they think this is unregulated. And if there were regulated markets like people are used to having with financial assets, I think people would be more open to coming into Bitcoin. But, I'm in the camp of going back to that survey. I think it goes to 200 before it goes to 50. I think that, you have a lot of people that are learning about Bitcoin for the first time. And I think, as more and more sort of retail financial advisors are advising their clients to do this, I think that we're going to see more people come into Bitcoin. Also, we see a lot of countries around the world, or even states around the United States, that are building Bitcoin reserves. I'm not sure that's something that the U.S. is going to do right out of the gate, but people are looking to hold more Bitcoin, not less. And so I think just having that change of attitude from the top, having a president who says, hey, we want U.S. to be the capital of this industry. We want to fight for you. We're behind you. We're going to get the rules right. We're going to get it done here. Just having that change of attitude at the top makes a tremendous amount of difference.
Kristen, I have a question, and I don't know what the chances are that this happens, but I have been wondering whether there's going to be a backlash. So one of the things that we were talking about this earlier this morning, there's this article in the Journal just about how Russia is now using Bitcoin in part to get around some of their own issues and to get around some of the financial system and the like. And while clearly this President-elect Trump has been very bullish about Bitcoin and wants to figure out crypto, I wonder whether there's going to be an argument made at some point that potentially this could be a negative for the sovereignty of the U.S. dollar long term, and that if it actually has great success, it could actually create real problems, and whether that will actually be anti-American. I'm not suggesting that is the case.
Yeah,
I just wonder whether that at the farther we get along in this dialogue and discussion,
Okay, you get the point. The thing she said at the beginning of that is 1,000% accurate, and that is Bitcoin has been unaffected by Gary Gensler, as negative as he's been on crypto. Bitcoin got a free pass, just like Ethereum did all these years. You haven't seen a real free market. Legislation is going to level the playing field, is what we need. It's what we've needed all the time. The bad guys have intentionally let Bitcoin and Ethereum have this free pass that we've been living under all this time. You don't know what the real market looks like until that free pass is removed, or you bring all the other digital assets into the regulated industry the way Bitcoin and Ethereum have been allowed to just have this quasi-regulatory clarity. When that happens, it's game over. Now, this was the staking video I played you earlier in this video. There's two factors in what I'm going to talk about in DAIXRP.com. We're going to talk about exit strategies with XRP. Well, in order to talk about them, you have to put these two things in the back of your mind. The first one is the potential, and I don't think there's any question, you're going to have XRP staking. What I'm waiting for is on XRP staking is for it to be at somewhere that's totally legit, where I don't have to worry about my XRP, something happening to it. It's anytime you have a legit asset like this that has a value, why shouldn't you be able to earn interest on it if you lend it to the world? That's what my plan has always been. Ever since, I remember we were covering this back when Miguel Valles was talking about this kind of stuff, back when he was running XRP markets. Here's the other factor, and this is a big factor in any exit strategy, and then we're going to go into the group and talk about them. But this right here, these are the top 5 crypto tax havens. Puerto Rico, 0 federal tax. Dubai, 0 personal capital gains tax. Singapore, 0 capital gains tax. Portugal, hold for a year, 0 tax. Switzerland, 0 capital gains tax. This guy responds and says, we're next here in America. If that happens, it's huge. There's a lot of people like me that are like, man, do I want to sell before we at least find out whether there's going to be capital gains tax or not? No. But these are all things to be thinking about. But in DAIXRP, I'm going to go through this thought exercise and kind of tell you what my exit strategy is going to be. It's, these kind of things evolve. I'm not a financial advisor. All these things you should talk to your financial advisor about. I'm just telling you what some people have said their exit strategy is and kind of what my thoughts on mine are. But that has to do with those people and my personal situation. That's why you need to talk to your financial advisor. I'm just throwing up the idea so that you do talk to your financial advisor, about it, okay? Now, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com now. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Let's talk XRP exit strategies. Okay, so here we go.